if I just for a second push all of the like legitimate, like you're worried about his well-being stuff to the side for just a second.
Let's just do that.
I'm not denying any of that. There are tons of red flags if you're the Washington Commanders and you're a fan right now of bringing him in. Like, where's the knee at? How will he be as a teammate if we don't prioritize him as a top target? What does this mean for kind of the domino effect in the pecking order of my offense? Do I really want my young quarterback being around him? Is the knee healthy? Is it going to hold up? Like, there's a lot of red flags here.
Sure.
I remember when the Giants did the deal for Rafael Devers, and I was just like writing down some of the red flags. And this is from Boston. I'm not saying that these are true. I'm saying Boston fan, like average Boston fan, he's a bad teammate. Okay? He's a bad defender. He's not a leader.
It's a good one.
He doesn't talk to the press. He wants to play in the field, even though we don't really have a defensive position for him. We asked him to play first base, and he refused. What else? What other red flags were there for Rafael Devers?
Did you already mention the weight?
Oh, didn't even think about that.
There was the out of shape heading into spring training. That was a big talking point.
Okay. When we acquired him, I ignored every one of them and had it either excuse or I blew off everyone. Now, some of them aren't as bad as I thought they were, and I don't think he's a bad teammate every day. No, I don't. Bad defender, clearly not a third baseman. He's okay at first. He's not a leader. That one might be a little true.
Yes.
I don't know if I want him to lead. I don't know if I need him to lead,
remember,
but that might be true.
We replayed the press conference of when they acquired him, and they never mentioned once the word leader or leadership.
Okay.
I think that was on purpose.
He doesn't talk to the press. That one's true. That's not a make it or break it for me, but whatever. All right.
When you're making that much money, you're the highest paid player, I think you should talk some. But yes. No,
fair
for
enough.
you. No, for you, Joe, it's not, but for me, it would be.
That's what I said. Fair enough. Like that's your prerogative. Yes. I get it. He's particular about where he plays. I think that's pretty true. Out of shape. Yeah, that one might be a little true. I ignored all those things. So I ask you, who is the biggest red flag guy that you were all the way in on and you were proven right? Because I'm going to think of someone right now. I'm going to give you an example. I think and what's funny is not only was anyone who believed in him proven right, you were also proven wrong thereafter.
So it's interesting you say that. It's kind of like a double-edged sword with this guy because I knew he was a really good player, but I knew the fit wasn't going to work. And as soon as they moved off of him, even though he was a red flag, it was going to work for the next team. That's Randy Moss.
Oh, wow.
Randy
That's
Moss,
a good one.
When he went from the Vikings to the Raiders, I was like, he's a really good player. I don't think this is going to work with the talent that he has around him and the quarterback. And then what happened? They moved off of him. Where does he go? New England Patriots. Stable organization, multiple Super Bowl wins prior to that. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick have the greatest season ever. Like 07 Randy Moss is one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen of all. But you knew immediately it's like, oh, they made a mistake.
God, him and Kerry Collins on Madden were so sick.
Yeah, I know, but God, Kerry.
They were so sick.
Kerry Collins.
I love Kerry Collins.
Honestly, he was a good player. Like he was.
He went to the Super Bowl with the Giants.
He was. And then he had
moments, dude.
He had moments as an old man on the Titans,
he had a good career.
He did.
What if I said it was Andrew Wiggins for me?
That's a good one.
Because Andrew Wiggins, think about it, like soft, not a leader, disappears. What else? What other red flags? When we acquired him.
Oh, doesn't have that dog, remember? Doesn't have that dog in him.
No motor.
Nope. Bad body language.
Bad body language is a good one.
Hey, doesn't speak to the media. Not a lot.
Doesn't speak. That's a good point. Speak to media. Do other players respect him? I don't know if that was a red flag. Because the Jimmy Butler thing, I think
there was some question marks about whether he could live up to that number 1 overall pick. Was he a bust?
Yes.
No, I think that was a great. But to your point, I think that goes back to the dog because Jimmy Butler, kind of was the alpha on those teams, and we questioned Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. By the way, both of those guys are champions now, and Jimmy's still not. It's kind of interesting.
Well, but Wiggins, he kind of proved all these things wrong, and then they kind of reared their ugly head again.
We caught lightning in a bottle with him.
We did, though.
He lived up to the hype. And I want to be fair here to Andrew.
No, we got great years out of Andrew.
You did, and
on the trade.
I just wonder how much dealing with his dad's sickness really did take a lot out of him.
No question.
That had to have played a part in some of this. Then we wanted to be fair to him in real time because he did miss a lot of time and there was a lot of speculation. What's going on? And we finally learned that his dad was battling cancer. He passed away. And he actually ended up playing well after that a little bit because he talked about, I feel like this weight is kind of off me a little bit. But he was just never going to be the player he was on that playoff run.
No.
He just wasn't.
But the red flags, I think all of the red flags that existed prior, they overcame them. He overcame them.
Yeah.
And you would argue his best years were with the Warriors.
It's not even close.
Right?
It's not even close.
Okay. Another red flag guy, just in general. And everyone's got red flags, but I'm just thinking, because if I'm a Commander fan today, it's there are so many red flags when it comes to Aiyuk, but you want to make a swing, and you ignore the red flags. What if I told you the Trey Lance draft pick was filled with red flags?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, this guy played for what?
5 games, it felt like.
Yeah, but
Division 2.
Division 2.
Was 20 years old.
North Dakota State.
COVID season.
The red flags were everywhere with this guy.
Couldn't run at the combine because they didn't have a combine.
And Niner fans talked themselves into him only because who did you not want?
Mac Jones.
They didn't want Mac Jones.
Who had red flags, and now I love him.
And now you love him.
I know. I can't believe I'm saying
because you know his flaws.
I know.
And you accept them.
I know.
But we tried to learn Trey Lance's flaws. And the problem with Trey Lance was, too, I think he was dubbed as this sort of elite athlete that really
just wasn't.
He just didn't translate. It didn't translate.
I totally agree. So that's the low end of the spectrum in terms of not performing at all. Red flags, and I don't think any of them were character red flags.
Yeah.
I think they're all play red flags. Would you agree?
I agree with that.
Okay, now let me go to character red flags. Jimmy Butler.
You kidding me? It might be the ultimate red flag.
I ignored all of them, and I think it's worked a little. And then I heard Jimmy Butler yesterday, and I'm like, oh, Jimmy, you're not getting an extension.
Oh, we'll get some of that sound from Jimmy Butler.
What?
We absolutely will. But he was team obliterator, Joe.
Who? Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, he was the TO version in the NBA.
And they immediately appeased him. Oh, you want the money? Here you go. Here's the extension. And it was the only way he was going to buy in.
And then him saying yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever, it's the greatest organization I've ever played for. I want to end my career here.
Everybody saw Horford get that 2
finals with Miami. And I know it ended well. Dude, you played a cup of coffee with the greatest organization I've ever played for. It's like, Jimmy, man, this guy that's great if you're a Warrior fan hearing that because that's what you want to hear.
It's not great.
It's not?
Because that means he wants to get a full max out pay. If they extend Jimmy,
You give up? You give up? This hour is brought to you by Fremont Bank, here for you, here for good. We're getting some on the text line. Barry Bonds from Pittsburgh.
Great call.
What was the conversation like, Joe? Because I was just
complete diva.
Yeah, I was a whippersnapper.
Horrific arm in left field. Terrible teammate. Not a winner.
But did you look past that because he was a local guy?
Absolutely.
And his
dad joined the staff.
Okay.
And you have to remember, we had 1 foot in St. Petersburg the year prior.
So he saved.
He was the god.
He was the savior.
And he was my favorite player on the team. But there's no doubt all the red flags were there. We ignored it. Did we not?
Oh, absolutely. And we talked to David Sampson, president of the former president of the Miami Marlins, in a Nothing Personal podcast. Real quick, though, and we had David on recently. I do want to send our condolences as a station. He lost his daughter after a 9-month battle with brain cancer, and she was only 28 years old. He's talked about it.
Awful.
And if you follow him on Twitter, David P. Sampson, I urge you to go there. He has this pinned tweet about where you could go. And in lieu of any flowers or anything, if you can donate to the Kira Fund for this type of brain cancer research, glioblastoma, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But very, very sad, and our thoughts are with David and his entire family because he's been so great to us coming on these last couple of years, Joe, and just very, very, very sad. No one should ever have to go through that.
parents burying their children, and specifically under the age of 30, is just, I just, dear God.
No, it's horrible. There's nothing you can really say.
Wish that on your worst enemy.
Absolutely not.
It's the worst. I can't even imagine what their family's going through and what that poor girl went through.
Just horrible.
I know.
But David did join us, a couple months ago and had some great comments talking about this very conversation we're having right now.
Red flags.
On GM, it's ignoring them when you're a GM/president. It's like,
and fan bases do it too.
Hey, it didn't work there, but we think it'll work here. This is what David had to say.
We've got such egos. When you're the president of a team, when you trade for a player, you say, you know what? We know more than the team who has him. We know that he's going to be better. He's going to be healthier. He's going to perform better. And that's what we're staking our reputation on. And when it doesn't happen, we get upset. And we will do whatever we have to do to give it enough time for it to happen before we admit our mistake and go a different direction. But it is the most amazing thing that for whatever reason we say, oh, that bad year, don't worry. They're going to go back to the way they were when they had that one good year. That's what we're going to get when we acquire the player or sign the player. It's like we live in this delusional state.
That was back in March of this year. That was back in March before the season even started, Joe.
I put red flags into buckets. So there's a physical trait bucket. Trey Lance, he just didn't hit the physical trait buckets, right? Then there's the personality bucket. Think team obliterator T.O.
T.O.
Right?
Or
That's
Jimmy,
the red flag.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Then there's the legal issue bucket.
Antonio Brown.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Alden Smith.
Ray Rice. Right? There's levels to this stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's different buckets. A great one that Carter said that someone in the YouTube chat suggested was Rasheed Wallace. I loved Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace coming out of North Carolina was the guy I wanted the Warriors to take. Rasheed Wallace was awesome. And
walking
he was also
red flag.
Completely insane.
Yeah, walking red flag. Ron Artest is
one
probably a great one
ever.
that we haven't brought up.
I'll give you the greatest red flag trade of all time. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
The Warriors making a trade for Stack Jack and Al Harrington. Stack Jack and Al Harrington were nuclear. They weren't like, you want to talk about red flags? Yes. There were personality red flags. There were play style red flags. There were legal red flags. I mean, Al Harrington started a weed company. I'm good for him. I'm glad. But at the time, weed was...
Send some over.
But weed at the time was, it's taboo. A federal crime.
It's taboo. Well, technically still is, but...
I never had an issue with it, but whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, think about it. Those red flags... It's similar to Andrew Wiggins. All of them were like ignored. They went awesome that year. I mean, they were awesome after that trade. And then all of it reared its ugly head. Al Harrington wanted to play the 3, not the 4. And then Stack Jack wanted to get extended. And then they both basically got in fights with Don Nelson. I didn't realize how bad Al Harrington hated Don Nelson. There's a new podcast out with Monte Ellis and Al Harrington, and they're talking about how much, and Monte's like, I love Don because blah, 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 and Al was like, nah, I hate him. And it was like, wow.
Which is funny because I think that both would have enjoyed that cannabis company together.
Yeah, they just said basically that Don didn't do any coaching.
Oh, well.
Till the playoffs.
Are you that surprised?
So yesterday, what was the biggest red flag trade yesterday?
Oh, LaMelo Ball going to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
What is your biggest red flag for LaMelo? It's the personality bucket,
the personality, right? Yeah. And then you go to the shot selection and some of that.
The physical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And physical, I mean like game style
But
play.
you go, honestly, and this was always what I had a problem with, and I thought it was so overblown in the draft process. I don't want to deal with LeVar Ball. That's why we're not drafting LaMelo. I was like, I don't think any of the teams are thinking that way. Like, did you think at the time Bob Myers was thinking?
I absolutely think it was a factor.
I don't, though. Not for like Bob Myers and Steve Kerr. I don't think they cared. No, the fan base cared about it.
No, but not that the dad was going to be like this big issue, but that the way that the dad viewed himself with the player, it was going to create some personality issues and growing pains.
But in hindsight, has LeVar done anything since LaMelo's been drafted? No. He's done nothing.
No.
Like, see, so like that's...
T. Morant has been more like,
yes,
I would say detrimental to Ja's career than LeVar Ball has been.
I could think of more issues with T. Morant and then like Jalen's dad, Rick Brunson.
I want to be very clear. I have hella respect for LeVar Ball. multiple sons were drafted in the NBA.
Yeah.
The neighborhood of kids that like he helped coach and raise, he did a lot of good things. Does he say some ridiculous stuff? Absolutely. You know how many dads aren't in their kids' lives and aren't affecting other kids? Like, LeVar is a good dude. He said some things he should not have said to other people and some outlandish stuff. But I think he's a really good dad, and I don't think he's this bad, evil human being that a lot of the media portrayed him out to be. I actually like LeVar Ball. I have tremendous empathy for obviously what he's going through physically.
Who are the red flags in sports? And you can go back through history. It could be for your favorite team. It could be a Bay Area team. The red flags you knew you were acquiring, but it still worked out. The list isn't as long as you think it is.
Well, Baron Davis at the time was a big red flag.
Yeah.
He was injured when the Warriors made the trade. You could make an argument Steph Curry was a big red flag with the ankles.
For injuries, for sure.
Absolutely, yes. Right? And
some red flags outweigh others,
no
right?
doubt, no doubt. I'm glad you said that. So, there are certain legal issues for me that I don't ever touch.
Yeah.
Domestic violence. Now, it's really difficult because you have to let the court of
yes, the law.
The law actually prosecute. And even then, they get things wrong.
Yeah.
I want to acknowledge that. So there's a lot of he said, she said. But 9 times out of 10, in those domestic violence situations, gosh, I just don't want any part of that.
Well,
I just don't want any part of that.
Some teams have zero tolerance, even if it's just, alleged. I believe. No, it's true. It's true. I think Mark Davis, because of what Fred and Biletnikov's daughter went through, if you have any domestic violence history past, any alleged nature, no, you're not on the team.
So for some people,
I respect.
So back in the day, video games was a no-go for a lot of GMs. I think the modern. You think I'm laughing?
No. It was in a contract for a certain quarterback in Arizona once upon a time,
right? I think for a lot of people, that's a no-go, right? But I think now we've come around. Weed for the longest time.
Yeah.
I think of Josh Gordon, and I don't know if it was weed or others.
Yeah.
But if it was just weed, God, that sucks. Now, I view weed different than some other people, so that's fine.
Yeah, I do too, but also you should know at the time, if your employer's not going to allow it, you shouldn't be doing it all the time.
I agree with you,
yeah.
but Joe, alcohol,
it's worse.
I've had alcohol
it's
ruin
worse.
my family's life way more than weed. Whatever.
No, it's done studies on it. Alcohol is infinitely worse than marijuana.
I'm not trying to be disparaging. I'm being real. Chris Mullin changed his life around. He was, famously an alcoholic, and Don Nelson and him had a heart-to-heart, and he went to rehab and everything, and he's changed his life around, and no one even knows and brings it up. The modern kids don't ever. It was a huge red flag back in the day. I have to give you one text message that my boy said. It was one of the greatest of all time. When Stack Jack had Matt Barnes pat him down during introductions during the We Believe, it might be one of the all-time great Warrior moments. No. Up until that point, it was hilarious when he put his arms I'm sorry, I know. But again, my mom was like, oh my God, what is going on? I was like, that's amazing. That was also during the Chameleon era. They see me rolling.
They hate it. Riding dirty, so sick. The pat down or frisking ritual was a famous pregame tradition performed by Matt Barnes and his teammate Steven Jackson during their time together.
Carter.
Dude, it was so sick.
It was so sick.
They called it the, quote, thug life mentality to the court. That's the quote. Dude, I'm not saying that's what I saw. That's not me saying
Jack,
it.
I'll be real with you. I love Captain Jack. He would hit a 3 and then do the eye goggles, and then he'd do the threes down, and then he'd be doing the stance. Dude, it was a moment in time. Now, Father Joe Shasky is please don't do the gun motion.
Please, for the love of God.
How about when John did the
grenade toss and then covering the ears?
The RPG.
Because they told him not to do the guns anymore.
He just kept changing guns.
So I'm just going to do... No, he is the Grand Theft Auto player because he's doing all the different ones. Eventually, he'll start doing the chainsaw. He'll yeah. I mean, I want him, by the way, still. Give me John Morant. Bring him here. Why not?
The red flags for me, this is another one I want to think about. There are physical limitation red flags that I think for some people exist, and for me, they don't. And I'll give you an example.
Ooh.
Brock Purdy.
That's interesting.
Brock Purdy. I think one of the main reasons Brock gets dissed by all of us, myself included, he doesn't meet the stereotypical height, weight, speed descriptions for what people think a quarterback should look
Not 6'3", 6'4", 240, 250, chiseled out of granite.
Yet, some of my favorite players, Deshaun Jackson, Darren Sproles,
Sure.
Michael Vick, are not 6'3", 240. You know what I mean? Howitzer arm. Though Michael Vick had unbelievable physical gifts.
He did.
He was short.
He was. He had good arm strength.
And then I look at like baseball, for example. You see this a lot in baseball. Some of my favorite players, Pedro Martinez, Tim Lincecum, all undersized.
Yeah.
Okay. Dustin Pedroia. I know you don't like him, but
Jose Altuve is an absolute baller. He's a Hall of Famer. I just didn't like what he did cheating.
Right. I'm with you on that. You know what I mean? I'm with you on that. But like, there are these prerequisite height, weight, speed things that we do. Why was AI such a like cultural phenomenon? Because he was like a 6'1" dominant shooting guard.
And the way he dressed, the way he spoke, the way his background and culture, I think mattered at that time for sure.
I loved AI.
Let's hit the injury report.